Wicked for Good is once again directed by John M. Chu and is the second part of the film adaptation of the musical Wicked. As an angry mob rises against a wicked witch, Glinda and Elphaba will need to come together one final time to truly see each other with honesty and empathy if they are to change themselves and all of Oz for good. The first Wicked movie was my favourite film of 2024. I have seen that movie 5 times. I genuinely think it's a masterpiece, and I'm a huge fan of the stage show, so Wicked for Good was naturally one of my most anticipated films of 2025. However, I did have one big concern. Obviously, with Wicked being split into 2 films, the first film adapted Act 1 of the stage show, whereas Wicked for Good is adapting the second half. And the second half of the stage show is a lot shorter than the first half. I believe it's less than an hour long, so I was worried about if they'd have enough material to make a compelling feature-length film out of the second act. Once again, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are incredible. There is a time jump from where the first film ended and where For Good begins, and I think both of them do a great job at really giving you a sense of where their characters are and where they've been in that time jump. There is now a maturity to these characters, especially Glinda, and of course their relationship, their chemistry is the focal point of this movie. It's what we cared most about in the first film, and the filmmakers are aware of that in this film. And once again, it is a beautiful relationship to watch unfold. Because of that, it's so easy to care about these characters once again, and the film does a great job at making you understand each character's point of view. Wicked for Good is named after the penultimate number in the show. That number is in the film, and yeah, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande absolutely kill it. There are 2 new songs in this film, one for Elphaba, one for Glinda, and I think they're both really good, but the standout is called Girl in the Bubble, which is sung by Ariana Grande. It comes at a really pivotal point in the story, and it adds even more depth to the Glinda character. I expect this song to get an Oscar nomination, to be honest, and it absolutely deserves it. I personally didn't feel this way, but I know a lot of people had an issue with the cinematography in Wicked Part 1. I saw a lot of complaints that the colour grading was dull and the film looked washed out. I thought that first movie looked great, but even I can say Wicked for Good is a step up in terms of the visuals. They have definitely upped the colour grading, and somehow the world of Oz feels even more grand in scope than it did in the first film. Because we are out of the university now, and we are in the heart of Oz for the whole of this movie. John M. Chu once again does an amazing job with the musical numbers. He really knows how to capture emotional truth in a musical number, because I do feel like a lot of the musical numbers in For Good are shot more intimately than the musical numbers in the first film. But that is because this film has a darker tone, and yet he is still able to capture that sense of wonder in Oz. As I said, this is darker, but he still manages to balance this film out with lighter moments, which I really appreciated. My biggest issue with Wicked for Good is the first act. I found the first act to be pretty rocky, to be honest, because it really does just throw you into it. At times it can just feel like we're playing catch up, but I really did just find it to be way too fast paced. It does just feel like it completely breezes by, and not in a good way, because one of my favourite things about the first movie was that it let scenes breathe. Whereas the first act of this movie really rushes through that setup, and therefore that first act isn't quite as engaging as I wanted it to be. That also makes some of the drama in the first act feel a bit awkward and unearned. However, once the film gets to around the musical number Wonderful, that's when it starts to find its footing. The second act I found really enjoyable, and the third act is amazing. The second act of Wicked was always going to be the harder one to adapt into its own film, and yeah, unsurprisingly, it is a step down from the first one, which again, I think is a masterpiece. But still, I had a pretty good time watching Wicked for Good. I think it hits the emotional beats it needs to, especially in that third act. I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I'm going to give Wicked for Good a B. Guys, I just want to say sorry for the lack of videos in the past month or so. I've had some technical issues, which have just meant I haven't been able to bring you guys the quality of video I've wanted to, but I'm hoping I've been able to fix them. What are your thoughts on Wicked for Good? Have you seen it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? If you haven't seen it, you're looking forward to it, let me know below. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. You guys are awesome. Blu-ray Billy, logging off.